Hello YouTubers, Blackfire3 here. I've been seeing a lot of, well, to be honest, the zombie craze, or at least in studios that are trying to shove it down our throats here, are telling us that the zombie craze is still pretty big, with the zombie movie Cooties, where kids become zombified and teachers get to kick their little butts, probably their secret fantasies. And I've also seen in a my local movie theater, they got like coming attractions, and there's a poster of the Boy Scouts guide to like zombie apocalypse. Can't remember if that's the exact name, but that's what it's about. Anyways, since it's been going around a whole lot, this reminded me of this little thing I wrote about the zombie life cycle. There's about 5 stages from the infection, the initial infection, all the way to the very end where the zombie is for sure dead. So I'm going to read them off each stage, and then I'm going to explain it a little bit more clearly, hopefully. Alright, stage 1. Subject gets infected through either prior infected source of first infected. Virus initially runs as typical flu-like virus. If infected is occurred by bite, the wound would be partially anesthetized. That means that you won't feel it as much. To ensure best possibility of continuing infection. At the end of stage 1, the subject may still retain self or personality prior to infection, but may display cannibalistic tendencies or continue to display personality prior to infection but no longer be susceptible to fatal injury, not including damage to the brain area. Alright, so what happens is if you get infected, like your patient 0, where you eat a bad taco from under the fridge because it's filled with under the fridge goodness, and you're obviously gonna get sick, and so what it's gonna do is it's gonna be like a very, very bad flu, or the worst cold you can ever imagine. And then you're bedridden, then you get turned, and beginning of the zombie apocalypse. However, when you get bitten, like, this is pretty much self-explanatory. When you get bitten, and you're in a huge rush, you're running away from the horde of zombies. You get almost backed into a corner. You try and dodge and weave through the crowd of zombies there, and one of them scratches you or bites you through your clothing. So you think that you're safe. You didn't get. I mean, you feel the bruise. Well, that's what it feels like. It feels like a bruise. But because of a slight numbing agent in the infected mouth or fingers or whatever, or if God help you, they drip on you, that's gonna be like flu season right there. It'll feel like a bruise, not like how a bite would feel, and like a bite that breaks the skin, like biting a chunk off you. Like, that might be a possibility. Like a zombie might have been a chunk off you, but it feels like just got bruised a little. I mean, you're bleeding out there, but you don't really realize it or feel like you're bleeding out. I mean, not until later when it's too late. So during stage 1, you're pretty much still you. I mean, excuse me. You got infected. You're either bedridden with the flu, the zombie flu, and there's no help in coming back from that, or you got bitten, and you're either in denial or you didn't think you got bitten that badly. It's just a bruise or a little bit bruising there, like teeth marks on the skin or that kind of lightness, or that's as bad as it feels like. And however, as the infection progresses in stage 1, you're gonna start first you might suddenly think, you know what? Jimmy looks appetizing. I wouldn't eat him now, but with a little bit of salt, maybe. I mean, like, this is after all the supplies have run out, and if I'm forced to eat him, I would definitely, when push comes to shove, eat Jimmy over there. That kind of thing, where you lose your inhibition for cannibalism. And at the very end of stage 1, you gunshot to the heart, through the heart. It's not going to stop you because you're just on the bout of turning. All right, now moving on to stage 2. Stage 2. Loss of subject's personality incurs, resulting in near complete personality blanking. Subject may still retain some habitual memory of learned behavior, opening doors, partial speech recognition by close family. At stage 2, the subject is still relatively fresh and is able to run and display quick reflexes near comparable capability to the uninfected, and will continue to run towards fresh food. Note permanent basic behavior pattern of preferring fresh meat will continue to persist. So, to describe that, this is after their turn. They're like, this is just after, like, I'm so sorry, Jimmy. I thought I didn't want to eat you. Blah. Blah. So, after you get the bite wound, you go down, you get turned. You're still pretty fresh there, so you see Jimmy over there, and you're full on zombie now. You're gonna go after him. You're gonna run him down, and make a buffet out of him. So, and then, because at stage 2, there's still a lot of stuff firing off there, a lot of cells firing off. So when you hear some guy over, like your, I don't know, cousin or brother over there telling Jimmy, it's kind of swallowed, telling Jimmy that he'll meet him over on, like, the bridge in town there, or on the water tower, there's enough brain cells left there that you might kind of know that that's your brother telling Jimmy over that you're running down where to go, and you'll figure out. This is like zombie thought where it's all weird and stuff there. I'm not gonna try and explain it, but the stage 2 zombies, they can, a good portion of them will figure out that water tower is over there. And they're going to go to it because they know that he said he's going to be waiting for him over there. Whether he's going to be at the bottom or hanging out at the top for some reason. That's a pretty bad way to go. And but since you, so at stage 2, stage 2 zombies are going to figure out how to open doors. They're going to turn the knob. They're going to maybe grab a rock and throw it through a window to break it open. I mean, they're not going to be too concerned about being cut up. But, well, that's... Stage 2 zombies are, like, smart, comparatively. I mean, you can fool some zombies maybe, and maybe at stage, back in, like, second episode of Walking Dead series there, where, was it Grimes, the sheriff guy, is like, okay, let's cut up the zombie, and he hacks them all up, and then he gets this raincoat on him, and he starts draping and rubbing the zombie, cut up zombie's guts all over him, so he looks gory and he smells like them. That might fool stage 2 zombies. But then again, it might not, because even though they have a preference for fresh meat, when there's no fresh meat around, they're just gonna go on whatever's around. So whether they're gonna start eating their cheeks, so they get that big toothy grin that you always see zombies have, or they might end up eating their hands. Like, see, they're easily accessible to the zombie, and he's not gonna care. He's not gonna feel this. Well, he might feel it, but he's not gonna care because eating. So that's stage 2. Stage 2 is probably the most well, actually, okay, stage 2 would be the most immediate dangerous zombie out there. Stage 1 it's like a time bomb waiting to happen. So, okay. Moving on, stage 3. Stage 3 incurs several hours after large-scale infection, when fresh food is no longer plentiful. The subject will slow down, possibly stop movement altogether, and rigor mortis will set in, stiffening the subject. As the subject attempts to move during rigor mortis, various tendons and muscles will break, producing the slow shuffling walk most associated with zombie movement. Also, during stage 3, primary senses such as the eyesight, smell, and hearing, note hearing is the last sense to leave. Any eyesight that persists is reduced to blobs of shapes, and the subject is most likely to respond to rapid changes in the blobs it sees. So what that means is stage 3 is after, like, the hordes have overrun the town. There's, like, the town is now pretty much like a few dozen people are left in the town, and they've long since went into hiding, and so the zombies are all kind of shuffling around, maybe, or they stop altogether. Because, well, there's nothing really to go after. I mean, they might start going after themselves. So that'd be a nice end to it. We never actually see it. We never see zombies eating other zombies. That's always the thing that got me. Anyways, stage 3, this is when the body's breaking down, so obviously the eyes are going to go. They're going to start to cloud over because they're dead. So they're not going to see that well. I mean, you could be a zombie would be like in one corner of the room, and you can just pass through dark through the door in the hallway. They might not see you. I mean, if you're waving a light and shining around everywhere, they might see that. That'll pique their interest, and they might come after you. But they're not going to see you that well. And their eyesight's going to go until their eyesight's just gone. Same with their smell. I don't know. I mean, I swear, all those zombies in the second episode of Walking Dead, I'm pretty sure they're at least stage, like, the mid to end of stage 3, so their eyesights are gone. Like shot, I mean, they're not gonna ace or even get the first line on an eye exam. And they're not gonna be able to smell anything because that's rotten to shit. That's soft tissue. Bugs are gonna go after that. That's gonna rot away pretty quickly. And their hearing, they'll that'll be the that's their probably gonna stay the longest. That's gonna be the only sense left. So if you make a noise and you're within earshot of making, if the zombies are in earshot of you making that noise, they're gonna come over there because in the back, whatever brain cells are left firing, they're gonna figure out that maybe food's over there. I mean, they'll probably have a long hard time getting there because they can't see crap. But they know that food might be in the general direction over here. So, anyways, moving on. Stage 4. Stage 4 is the final stage to complete death of the subject. Length of stage 4 is heavily determined on environment the subject is in. Subject's movements will continue to deteriorate as flesh continues to rot off. Any possible behavior preferences the subject may have had prior to stage 4 will be completely deteriorated, and subject may begin to consume any nearby food, whether it's non-infected or a fellow zombie. Subject may also begin to consume self. Note, this can also happen as early as stage 2, when the subject consumes soft tissue around mouth area, including lips, cheeks, and even tongue. Alright, that's stage 4. So at stage 4, I mean, zombies with their entrails hanging out, they're not going to care, but that's going to catch up to them. I mean, that's I want to say literally, but that's redundant at that point. Where their flesh is all exposed there, so there's going to be obviously bugs are going to be getting at that. So bugs are going to be eating that. There's going to be typical. If anyone of you have seen like a dead animal out in the woods there, and you see bugs eating it out, laying their eggs in their maggots and all that. That's happening. That's happening as early as stage 2. Maybe at the end of stage 2. That's going to be full on, but anyways. Alright, what else can I explain here? I've written all this on my laptop here. Any possibility? So, what that means is any possible behavior preference, like zombies always wanting to eat fresh meat or like non-infected zombies, which always got me. I mean, they're zombies, they're dead. They're not going to turn their nose up at something when their only motivation is to eat something. Like, if they're going to eat meat, they're going to eat meat. They're not going to care. They're not going to care about an expiration date on there. They're going to eat it. And they're going to keep eating themselves there, too. I mean, like I said earlier, like, hands, they're going to be chewing on that the whole time. They're going to eat their arms up, probably to the nubs there as far as they can go. There's probably going to be a few that are going to chew their muscles on the legs off, which is going to further hamper their movement. So, stage 4, you can outpace them at a leisurely pace, and you can smell them coming. You can see them coming. So, like any soft tissue that's it's liquefying, it's getting eaten by the bugs, it's rotting. So if your zombies down in Florida, they're probably going to go pretty quick because, yeah, that's a pretty warm environment there. So between like just environmental factors of nature, where it's sun's beating down on them, humidity's pretty high, so whatever bacteria is still in the body is going to eat out all the dead flesh. Not to mention all the insects that are going to be going at it. It's like, whoa, biggest buffet in the world for the bugs. So that's so at best at that point, they might wiggle around a little bit. They might get a few feet, a couple weeks at that point if conditions were just right enough for it to all the flesh to stay intact for that long. The needed flesh for that long, they might kind of squish their way over there. But at that point, they're just twitching corpses. They might still be kind of gooey. Well, actually, they would be still pretty gooey at that point. But they're quite literally a worm buffet. The fight's been literally taken out of them by the bugs, by sun being down on them, the humidity, the bacteria. Nature's gonna take its course and take the immediate, like the immediate threat. And what I mean by immediate threat is like they're not gonna be chasing after you. Well, they'll try. They're gonna fail. So unless you're gonna be an idiot and go point your finger in their face there, like, oh, you can't get me now, can you, sucker? And then they bite you, which you'd be a complete idiot for doing that. That's the last. Stage 4 is the last that they can stage where they're mobile in any fashion. Right? In stage 5. Stage 5 is complete cell death. It's a husk of a skeleton. A skeletal husk there. I mean, whatever flesh is left, it's jerky. I mean, it's dry. It's a dry husk there. It's whatever flesh is left, it's paper. And, but, this doesn't mean that, you can, handle it without gloves or anything. I mean, you might want to douse it in bleach and then run a flamethrower over that zombie in the area it's sat in for however long it was staying there. It's going to be one hell of a cleanup job because zombies are over around the earth there, and they got walking around with their entrails hanging out there and trailing themselves behind them. I mean, there's a lot of potential for infection there. So probably the best course is the human race should probably become an ocean society. I mean, build a whole bunch of boats and then move out into the ocean, because that's gonna be the only point where anything's gonna be really sure, where you're absolutely certain that there's no infected dirt over there. And so, anyways, that's it. 5 stages. Stage 1 is when you're initially infected, whether you pick up an airborne virus or just eat a bad taco. And stage 5 is when the zombie is just a dried up husk that is a kind of like a landmine. You don't want to touch it because then the virus will infect you, maybe. And well, since it's dried up husk too, there the flesh will turn to sand, and it'll become airborne dust. Oh man, if you had hay fever before, you really don't want to get this stuff. So that's it. 5 stages. I'm gonna put all 5 stages in the description below because it's all fancy. So I've written this on my blog, but I'm not gonna post a link to my blog because there's not a lot of interesting things on there, and I don't really update that at all. Like maybe once a year, if I'm lucky, or if I ever think about it. So the zombie life cycle will be posted in the description below for you guys to look at and point out all the holes in my theory. So that's pretty much it. You look over it and theorize your own zombie life cycle if you want to, or you know what? This is going to be my personal quest to you, your own personal quest there. I want in the comments below if you want to. I want you to tell me what kind of type of zombie would you go nope to. Like, what kind of zombie would you just look at and go, I'm done, and then off yourself because you or scramble like mad and be that crazy person who's scared and doesn't really help keep survival or whatever at all. And to start off, my personal type of zombie that I'm most afraid of that might happen would be zombie squirrels. And I know a lot of you are laughing, and a lot of you are probably going, really, zombie squirrels? But think about it. Squirrels when they're alive, you know how fast they are? I mean, in Twitchy, you're not going to see where they're going. So, and if the squirrels become zombies, they're gonna have a taste for your nuts, if you know what I'm saying. So if there's ever a zombie apocalypse or a zombie outbreak that comes out in real life here, which I doubt, but I never know. And I see a zombie squirrel running around, that is it. I'm done. There's no coming back from that. My personal opinion. You can't. I mean, human zombies are bad enough when they're at stage 2 and maybe 3, when they're running after you and all that, and they're intelligent, they can figure shit out. But zombie squirrels, I mean, they're tiny and they can run, man. They can run faster than humans, man. Most humans. When you're running after the human zombies, the last thing you're going to be thinking about is these little tiny things that are kind of run up your leg and start chewing on you. So that's it. Zombie squirrels are my most feared type of zombies. I'd like to hear about what zombie type of zombies that you're most afraid of in the comments below. I'd like to hear your thoughts on my zombie life cycle theory. I'm calling it theory because no one honestly knows how a zombie life cycle would be, but I like to think that that's pretty close to what one would be. So, it's September it is September that I made this video, and I posted it. So happy Halloween this upcoming October. Watch out for the zombies. And if there's zombies outbreak, I hope this life cycle theory helps in some way. Bye.